Hello, I am Tarosh from eClat, and today we will be talking about the quantitative techniques section of the CLAT exam, and we will also take a look at how to approach the questions by solving some of the sample questions. So let's begin. First, let's see how many questions of quant we can expect in the exam. 10% of the questions, which comes around 13 to 17 of the questions, will be based on quant section, which plays a very important role in making or breaking a good rank. Now, how is the CLAT 2020 different from the previous years? Now, the whole paper has been made in such a way that it's all comprehension based. So you'll have to read the passage and then answer the questions based on that. So what kind of questions can we expect this year onwards? So you can expect something like this. So you will have a passage, you'll have to read it and then analyze it and then answer the questions based on it. And you will also have questions like these coming up from graphs or tables or the bar diagrams or any kind of pictorial representation, be it the pie charts or any other forms. Now, let's see 10 standard syllabus. So you can say if you are done with the main topics of NCERT, you are good for attempting the CLAT's quant section. Now, the main thing is how do we approach this paper in order to score very high. So first we need to read the passages because it's all comprehension based, understand what is being said, sort out the important information, maybe put it down visually for a better idea of this, and also importantly, keep all your work neat and handy because what you are doing in the first part might be asked in the second parts. So now we will begin with an example of how to do these questions. Okay, so first let's take an example. So it's based on time and distance. So this question talks about 3 trains which are traveling from Delhi to Agra. This information will help us in finding out what is the speed and what is the length of the train. Okay, so let's look at this over here. So let's assume this is the platform, which is 200 meters. Now it's taking 35 seconds. Now when we say 35 seconds to cross a platform, it also includes the length of the train. But in the second part, it says that it took 25 seconds to cross one pole. So that means if you look at it over here, suppose if this is my train and it is crossing this pole, so that means if it crosses this pole in 25 seconds, that means the whole length of the train has been covered in 25 seconds. So how much time is left to cover just the platform? That is 10 seconds. So using this information, we can find out the speed. Our speed would be 72 kilometers per hour. So let's write it down over here. In 10 seconds, it crosses 200 meters. So in 25 seconds, it will take 500 meters. So that means I also know about the length of my train. All right. Now let's focus on the question. It says at what distance between New Delhi, Agra and Shatabdi will they cross each other? Okay, so what I'll do is in this question, I'll imagine, okay, suppose that in this distance, let's suppose they are meeting at some place over here. So let's say this distance is x from Agra. So if this distance is x, so that means this distance would be 200 minus x. So now I'll equate the times of both of them. So time taken by the Shatabdi would be, so we will use the normal formula for time, which is distance over speed. So now this time taken by this would be 200 minus x over 72, and we will equate it to the time taken by the other train, which is x over 58. Okay, now if I solve this equation, I'll be able to get the value of x as 89.3 kilometers. Now whatever information I have achieved in the first part will be used in the second parts as well, and then I'll use it directly over here. So I'm using it. So it says at what point on this way will it overtake the Shatabdi. So let's say this is the point, imagine that at which it overtakes. So what we will do is, now this distance will be the same for both of them. Okay, now for the second one, the distance will be the same. Now the time taken by Sheetkal to reach at this place would be 15 minutes less than the time taken by Shatabdi because it started 15 minutes late. So I'll subtract 15 from this. So now I'll equate the distances of both of them. So what is the distance by Shatabdi? It would be 72 times t. Okay, and what is the distance traveled by the Sheetkal? It would be 84 times t minus 15. Now I have my equation, and now when I solve this equation, the answer of t would be 105 minutes. The d part, which is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Now let's go to the third part of this question. Okay, in this question we have to say how much time will it take for both of these trains to cross each other. So imagine these are like two trains. Now they are both going in the opposite directions, so it would be very quick. So in order to solve these questions, what we do is we normally use the formula of speed is equal to distance upon time, but because it will be quicker, because they are moving in opposite speeds, we will add the speeds of both of them. So we would say it would be 78 plus 58, the actual speed. The total distance in this case would be the length of their trains. So I will say 500 plus 300, which is 800, but because I am using it in kilometers, I would say it is 0.8 because I want to use it in kilometers. And the time which we have to find out, I'll just put it as it is. Now this time is currently in hours because rest of the things are in kilometers and hours. So if I solve it, I will get my time. Now let's also understand how we can do the questions which require the use of graphs. This is a very simple one. We just have to find the average. So this average is between 2014 to 2017 of what? Budgetary allocation. That means this blue box. So I just need to add these four values and divide by 4. So it will be 410 upon 4, which is 102.5. So that means C is the right answer. So this was a very simple thing. Now let's go to the second part of this question. Now this time we are talking about the yellow actual expenditure, and we have to say which year saw the highest growth. Now if you look at it carefully, there is an increase in every new year. So we have to say which year was the highest increase. So in order to find out the percentage increase, what we do is we find out how much is the increase and how much was the original, and then we just simply multiply with 100, and that normally gives us the answer for the percentage. So we will apply the same thing over here. Like what is the percentage? We won't calculate it for 2014 because there is no year prior to it. So it's only these 5 things. So if you look at it over here, it's like 90 minus 80, which is, so first let's only find out how much is the fraction like original upon this. So over here you will have, if you just look at the fractions, you can easily say that this is the one which is the highest one because it's like 1/3. And if you find out the percentage of this, you will find that this will give you the highest percentage, which is 33.33%, and the rest of them will be, now I have given you the answers in terms of percentages, but what I'm saying is you don't even need to find out these percentages because they will take a lot of time. You can just look at your expression, like this is like 1/3, and it's 1/3 is bigger than 1/8 or 1/12 or any of these numbers. So you can use these short tricks to get to your answers. So the answer of this would be the year 2016. That's all, and I hope you were able to get an idea of how we can solve some of these questions of quantitative techniques without any hassles. So keep practicing. You can also go to the eCLAT's online platform, and you can also give some free tests, and we have a lot of resources especially to help you out. So that's all for today. Goodbye.